Welcome to a special Jace Media music video interview. I am your host, Justin Smollison, proud Jace contributor from across the pond. I am delighted to present a brand new interview with Mr. Marco Pastorino, fantastic singer, songwriter, guitarist. He does it all. And he is the voice of the brand new project, Neverland Train, whose debut is Alive in Hell. And this debut is released worldwide right now from our brilliant friends at El Puerto Records. You are hearing a clip of Somewhere in This Universe, one of the lead tracks and singles off of this fantastic album. This album is something of a tribute to Mr. Jim Steinman, one of the great songwriters of the 20th century. He wrote for Meatloaf, and we're going to talk about what it was like to sing these special songs that were all originals except for one, and have a lot of fun. If Marco's name looks or sounds familiar to you, that is because he is involved in several other groups. He is the creative driving force behind Temperance and Virtual Symmetry, and he is also in Serenity, and he's the singer of Christiano Filippini's Flames of Heaven, and he is also in Fallen Sanctuary. So I named them all, and as you'll see, it's tough to keep track of all this, at least for me. For him, it was a piece of cake. And we had a lot of fun talking about all the different projects, what's coming up with some of his other groups, and the upcoming Camfest and Camelot tour in the EU, where Temperance will be performing in support of Camelot. There's so much to discuss. We're going to have a great time. I spoke to him once a few years ago for Jace Media when Fallen Sanctuary's debut came out. And here we are again with the debut of Alive in Hell by Neverland Train. Let's get to it. Jace Media music audiences worldwide, please welcome Mr. Marco Pastorino. Okay, so I am joined by Mr. Marco Pastorino, who's joining us all the way from Italy, and he's fantastic. I've been following his work for a few years now. Last time we spoke was when Fallen Sanctuary was released, when they released their debut, Terra Nova. But we're back because he is alive in hell with Neverland Train. How are you, Marco?
All good. I'm so glad to be here, and I'm so glad that we had another chance to talk about music. That's the most important thing.
Absolutely. And that, we were talking before we were rolling, you've got so many bands and projects, but we're going to start with Neverland Train because
maybe too much.
Yes, too many. So we got Neverland Train, and Neverland Train is a project that is really founded by Jens Farber.
Exactly.
And this is Alive in Hell is released by El Puerto Records. They're brilliant over there. They put out David Reese's solo albums and Sons of Sound, so I'm a big fan of them. And these are songs that were composed and intended to sound like those of Jim Steinman. And if you didn't know any better, you would think that they were composed by Jim Steinman. And then they bring you in to do the lead vocals. How did that all happen? How'd that happen?
So I think I get in touch with Jens since few years actually, but we never had the chance. Actually, we never met before. We never met in the real life. Wow, that's crazy. But that's the good side about internet and this kind of digital world. Mm-hmm. But he knew that since forever I'm a huge fan of Meatloaf and Jim Steinman, and I think he saw some cover I did in the past years from But Out of Hell. But then, as far as I know, he was a huge fan of one of the songs I wrote for the latest Serenity album called Reflections. It's a mix between, I would say, Avantasia, Meatloaf with some AOR stuff as well.
So that's all the stuff right there. Yeah.
Exactly. And basically, step by step in my career, from Temperance and all the other bands, one of my trademark is choirs and harmonies. 1 million harmonies to get a producer of every album crazy.
Yeah.
But since Jens is a huge fan of this kind of stuff, he get in touch with me, and I think at the beginning he sent me just a couple of tracks to figure out if the sound was cool for me, and I think the first track was Somewhere. Somewhere in the Universe,
Somewhere
the
in this
first single
universe. Yeah.
actually. And I was, wow, quite impressed, because nowadays it's very difficult to find someone inspired by this kind of stuff. I Sadly, it's not a trend anymore, I would say. This kind of music is more 80s or even 90s, but especially 80s.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm a huge fan of Jim Steinman since forever. I heard all the stuff he wrote in his career, and then that's it. We decide to do this album. And hopefully, we'll do even some more in the future. Unfortunately, I would say it's quite impossible to do some live shows, even
Right.
because our lives are quite busy.
Yeah. You
Uh,
you would need you would need at least a dozen people to recreate all those voices and all those instruments, right?
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
That's great. So you heard what he laid down, and then do you dig into the Jim Steinman songbook? And then do you go, "Oh, he's" do you look for very technical things there? Do you look and say, "Oh, well, he's hitting these notes here and he's playing faster there," and do you look for that for inspiration, or do you just go with what you're feeling?
Actually, when he sent me, then the entire album was pretty much complete.
Oh.
I only no, exactly. I
Yeah.
The only thing I did for sure, I put a little bit of my personality for sure,
Yep.
and I rearranged some choirs and harmonies. I put even more stuff because in the demo version, um, I think there was less Queen stuff. You know what I mean? With this
Mhm.
kind of na 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 na. I added
Yeah.
some stuff like that because I think was perfect for this kind of James Diamond stuff. But
Yeah.
I think Jens in general did a fantastic job on songwriting, and I mean, it happened just because he's a huge fan of this kind of stuff, and he never had the chance to release this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But we did it.
So this is the way to do it. And when you have and these songs are generally pretty long, and they're all kind of mini epics in themselves. But you're comfortable doing things like that because of your other groups anyway. I mean, if I'm
Sure,
recalling correctly, Virtual Symmetry has a 20-minute song. So, and I think it's actually called Virtual Symmetry. I'm pretty sure about that. So,
sure,
yeah,
sure. You're right.
right. So you're comfortable doing these longer songs that are a little bit of an endurance test, right?
I'm totally comfortable, but also because I'm a huge fan of this kind of music, this kind of genre. The only problem sometimes for me is to remember then all the lyrics when I have to play live. Luckily, I won't have to play live at least for this year, next year, Neverland Train, because sometimes for 20 minutes or even 30 minutes song track, wow, you have to remember some very long lyrics, and
Yeah.
that's the worst part of me, actually.
It's tough, especially since, you have to sing them in English, but you're a native Italian, right? So
Exactly, and I have to say my English totally sucks, so
no,
then
your English is great. It's not even that. It's just that to compartmentalize it must be quite a challenge, but I think you're doing great. But
especially when you are not a lyricist, because,
mhm,
sometimes, for example, for the latest Temperance album, I wrote all the lyrics. So, more or less, I remember everything, but for other stuff, I didn't
yeah,
write the lyrics, so I didn't spend time to change some words here and there, so it's a little bit more difficult, I would say.
right, right. And so, like you're saying, this is a studio album. It's not you're not going to be able to tour behind it immediately. So there's plenty.
You never know what will happen in this crazy world, but
Right.
probably not.
But there's time for it to find an audience, and
Sure.
is this the sort of thing have you ever seen a stage show of your music, like a Broadway show of your own type, like a theater show?
Um, you mean for my music, or if I saw something like that?
No, no, of your own music.
Ah, no,
No.
unfortunately not.
No, and
I mean,
because if somebody did not know any better, they would think they were listening to a rock opera that was once on Broadway or something like that.
that's true. That's
Yeah.
true. The thing is, actually, they have tons of goals in life. Try to do this, try to do that. For example, the latest Temperance album was a huge dream of mine to try to write and release proper concept album. because
Mhm.
also a concept album, you know, we're coming from a different era. It's not a trend anymore, and it's very difficult in the Spotify era to
Mhm.
release something that people they need to stay with the booklet or book
Yeah.
for 1 hour to read the lyrics to understand properly the connection. Impossible nowadays. Even
Right.
you notice, even for bigger band than Temperance, no one is doing that anymore. Just Arion Lucasen. But beside him, no one else. But he's a huge name.
Yeah.
But you never know. I really would love to do something like that in a theater with a story. Let's see.
Yeah. Something like an Avantasia. Something like it.
Yes, but at the same time, I have to say, for the same stuff I said before, even Avantasia, at the beginning, he used to write concept albums, are not concept anymore. So, if you will listen the last 3, 4, 5 albums, there's not a real connection between all the songs. There's not a story behind. But
All right. So you got that, and so this photo is deceptive. You three are not in the same room taking this photo, are you?
no, I mean, if even the background is not real, we're not in Mordor.
Of course not. All right, but you can do it. I mean, is it Jens or Jens?
You know, I used to say yen,
Oh,
but I'm not completely sure because it's German, so it's
Right.
not even chance.
I think Jens really. I mean, he's credited for backing vocals, guitars, bass, piano, keyboard. You didn't have to play one note. You just had to sing, right?
Sing, harmony is fine. That's it.
Amazing.
Actually, from this spot I am now.
Right. So I mean, but that's amazing. The man is a real talent. You must have been feeling great when you heard the mostly finished album being sent to you, right?
Wow, it was very cool because I mean, in my opinion, he's also a good singer.
Yeah.
With his own band now, is the lead singer as well, Dawn of Destiny. But yes, was very impressed because this guy did everything by himself. And then on top, I put even more technical vocals and stuff like that. But it was very cool even without me, I have to say.
Excellent. So this is an exciting project for you. We played at the top. We played Somewhere in This Universe as an introductory clip. We'll play some more over the course of the interview. And just remember this. This album comes out March 27th. So end of the month, and it's an exciting time. And then I just wanted to just take a quick stroll down memory lane and talk to you about how things are going with some of your other music. I also wanted to take the longest stroll. I have over here, I have a picture of Marco Pastorino. Hold on. Here he is with hair, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my goodness. There he is. That's the Secret Sphere album.
It was
Time
fair.
Never Come. Yeah. And you played guitar on that one, right?
Play guitar, and I was even the backing singer for backing vocals because back then, for 5 or 6 years, we shared stage with Michele Luppi, and he used to put tons of backing vocals in every song.
Yeah.
So basically, I had to stay in front of the microphone for the entire show all the time. No way to move.
Excellent. And so you have fond memories of this album?
Wow, was a very cool album because I mean, was re-recordings of the most successful album, Secret Sphere,
Mm-hmm.
from 2001, so very long time ago. But
Yeah.
it was a huge success in Japan. And then I think we released this album 11 years ago,
Yeah.
2015.
2015. Yep.
So basically, the year before, our Japanese label asked us to do something special because basically, I think the album was again and again sold out. And
Mm.
instead of just reprint the album, they said, maybe we can re-record the album, new arrangement, fresh sound, Michele Luppi on vocals, the new lineup, and was pretty very cool and was a fantastic period of time for the band. We played a lot of shows in Europe. Actually, I think with that reissue, we had the time we had the chance to go for the first time in Japan with Secret Sphere, and was pretty cool. Wow, we played tons of shows everywhere.
Excellent. And how's your do you have a good relationship with Aldo Lenoble?
Aldo is one of my best friends
Oh,
still
good.
now.
Okay, great, great.
We're still doing tons of stuff together. But the thing is, back then, I decided to leave Secret Sphere because I was at the beginning of Temperance. I was pretty focused on the goal of Temperance, and then even other stuff like that, other projects, was impossible for me to give even some priorities to Secret Sphere. But yes, Aldo is still one of my best friends actually, and even the rest of the band. Wow,
Yeah.
Marco the drummer,
Mhm.
Gabriele, and Andy the bass player. Probably they are in my top 10 best friends ever. So
Excellent. All right. Well, it's a great album. I have the 2015, yeah, the 2015 edition of A Time Never Come right there. I remember picking that up recently because and being I knew Aldo and I had a couple of Secret Sphere albums, so I was going back in time. And then when I saw your name in there a couple of years ago, I said, "Oh, next time I talk to him, I got to go bring it." That's why I had to go run over there.
exactly.
Yeah. And then so you've got Temperance. Temperance does very well, right? You have you are I always see a new release or a tour for Temperance somewhere. They're always busy,
That's
right?
that's the way.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it. Yes, sure. I mean, yes, because basically for every album you have to do a tour, but then probably you have the chance to do another tour the year later. And then for me, it's been like that since forever.
Yeah.
Every year and a half, basically, I have another album ready. So
Oh,
if,
wow.
even now, it's pretty much like that. I mean, we spend a little bit more time for the new album, but just because then we were busy doing tours, and the new album will be out this year actually,
In
and
2026.
26, I
Yeah.
think around October we'll announce the album in a couple of months, I think. But yes, we'll be
Didn't
out in October.
didn't you do with Temperance an acoustic based EP?
Yes,
That was a
actually, with
apologies that I forget the name of it off the top of my head. I can look it up. I can always re-record this part, but it was excellent. It was so good.
thank you so much. Was a very strange moment for us because on 2020 we released the very first album with Napalm, Viridian.
Mhm.
Then for sure, COVID happened. So lockdown, especially in Italy, was quite strong. It was a very sad moment of life, I would say,
Yeah.
and even very difficult. I would say for the music industry, but for everyone actually, especially in Europe, especially in Italy, especially in the north and from the north.
Mhm.
But then we were stuck at home. Where we had the first album with Napalm. We supposed to do something like 4 tours in Europe in 10 months. Everything was postponed. So with Napalm, we decided to do something special,
Yeah.
and we did acoustic EP.
Yep. It was called
What was
was
cool
this
because
was it called Melodies of Green and Blue, right? Yes. I'm sorry.
exactly, exactly.
I'm
It's fine.
sorry
It's
that the
fine. I
name
mean,
escaped me, but I remember really, really loving it, you know?
cool. Thank
Yeah.
you so much. And
Yeah.
we will record something taken from Viridian plus Michele and me. We decided to put even something new. We put a couple of totally unreleased new tracks in the album as well in acoustic.
Yeah. Yeah, it was excellent. And then so how's Temperance doing right now? So you said you have the next album ready to go
We have
and
a
yeah.
we have a new album. Yes, we just did a video shooting of the first two singles actually this week, and I'm extremely satisfied about the new album. I spent sometimes work on it, and it's very cool. And as far as um, our guys at the label and other guys close to us told us, they said probably it's the best Temperance album ever. I didn't say
Okay.
that; they say it. So, but I'm quite confident we will have a good feedback about it.
And your singer is Kristen Starkey. She's the singer of Temperance. She's
From
from New
New
York.
York, actually.
Yeah.
Tra-
So does she live in New York still?
No, I think she left New York probably around the COVID time. and she moved in Sweden. She lives 2 hours far from Stockholm. Because
Okay.
otherwise, for a band like us, it would be impossible to have someone from US all the time. But she lives in Europe, and I
Oh,
really
okay.
love Christian. Next time for Temperance, we have to do the interview with her.
That's exactly what I was going to say. We'll get the
So
two of you on, and
you
we'll
would
have a
talk
great
just
time.
in slang
Yeah.
from
She'll
Manhattan and
recognize
everything.
the accent. Yes. Yes.
Exactly.
And so then let's also talk Fallen Sanctuary. Uh this was, well, AFM isn't putting out new music as I understand it anymore. So Fallen Sanctuary, there's always a chance of a follow-up to Terra Nova, right?
Exactly. So we already record all the instruments.
Mhm.
Actually, I think we end the songwriting for the second album already, I would say maybe a couple of years ago, but then it was impossible to plan everything. Even as you said, AFM is no longer with us, I would say,
Right.
unfortunately, because we had such a great time with them. We had a great team,
Yeah.
and the album was a good success for a new band. And even with Fallen Century, in 4 years, because we start in 2022, we played, I would say, 7, 8 shows. For a band like that, nowadays you have to play 50 shows per year, otherwise it's very difficult. But
Right.
the feedback was great. The new album is great, but since AFM is not active anymore, we received some offers to release with the other metal labels from
Yeah.
Europe, but we decided to do it on our own.
Oh,
So
self-release. Okay.
we'll be independent,
Nice.
and it's cool because we can plan it without any problem at all. Uh, um, and nowadays, for I would say medium small project like Fallen Century, mostly based on studio, it's even easier like that.
Yeah. And that's the two of you, you and, let me get the gentleman's first name,
Georg,
George Newhouser. Two of you
Georg,
are doing,
yes,
you do shared vocal duties there, right?
exactly. We share vocals and songwriting as well, because
Right.
even the first album we wrote it together, the
Yeah.
second album as well, and we start Fallen Century because we are huge fan of the early 2000 power metal,
Yeah.
like Sonata Arctica, Avantasia, that guy. But we never had the proper chance to do something like that for Serenity or Temperance. So
Mhm.
again, in the middle of lockdown, we decided to do something, and AFM was very enthusiastic about it. So they pray us to sign with them. Not just kidding. But then the first album was very cool, and I think even the second album will have a great feedback.
When do you think we might see it?
I still don't know because
Still gotta do the vocals, so 20,
uh,
maybe 27?
no, no, I think still this year.
Oh, okay.
Uh, but let's see. Our idea was to try to release it on summer, but now it's very difficult because we had not a lot of time to work on it. But
Yeah.
I'm quite positive this year.
Okay. Excellent. And then, pardon me, uh, I couldn't help but notice at the end of 2025, or toward the end of 2025, Flames of Heaven, Christiano Filippini's Flames of Heaven was released, and that album is called Symphony of the Universe. It was released by Lim Music. I heard about it from Ger Musica, and I I said, "Okay, well, if Marco's on it, it must be good." And it is. It's it's a little similar to, Fallen Sanctuary, but, it's got, but with you on the vocals, you have a very distinctive voice. So that's where my mind is going. How did you get connected with, uh, Christiana?
So I'm friend with Cristiano since I think more than 10 years. We released the first album actually I think on 2020, but I recorded 8 years ago the first album,
Oh, wow.
the first.
Yeah.
Then um, I think I recorded the second album long time ago again. I think almost 3 years ago.
Okay.
Uh, mm, then I totally forgot the lyrics in the meantime. But the album is very very cool. I mean, even the debut album was cool, But in my
Mhm.
opinion, the second one is a huge step
Yep.
in terms of production, but even songwriting because we put even more elements. And wow, my friend Simone Mularoni from DGM did a
Yeah.
terrific job on mix, and it's very very cool. And let's see what will happen for this project because it seems like the rest of the guys they really would love to do some shows.
Yeah.
You know, nowadays it's not easy to start, but I think sooner or later we'll play some shows.
That's excellent. Yeah, because it's very much in the style of Gamma Ray and very uplifting. And I went to Christiano's site, and he's a a very professional looking site. He fancies himself as a composer primarily, and he's a terrific musician. Obviously, um,
Yes.
is it? Do you get the chills when you get the music from him? Do you go, oh, I gotta step it up here because you have to provide the whole. You got to get that in there, you know.
So actually, that's the biggest difference between Cristiano and Jens from Neverland Train. Because, for example, Jens is a very good singer in my opinion, and when he delivers something, basically is already there.
Yeah.
Will Cristiano is a little bit different because he's a terrific songwriter, but he's not a singer.
Right.
So he used to send me some vocal lines and then I have to work on it. Even if I didn't write anything for Flames of Heaven, but
Hmm.
I have to arrange a little bit the vocal lines, put a little bit of effort and stuff like that. Even the choirs and harmonies, because I used to arrange it by myself. So, and that's a very cool process. Actually, it's one of my favorite thing for this kind of albums when I have to put myself in to do 1,000 harmonies and
Yeah.
choirs. I really like it.
How long do you spend on something like that? Does it take you a couple of weeks to get it all out?
Actually, not. So,
No?
actually less because when he sent me the stuff, I used to re-record the vocals for some demos just to give him
Mhm.
some ideas about even the arrangement, about the choirs. But then even for the recordings of the albums, actually, for every album I did in my life, I never spent more than 3 days to record
Oh,
all
wow. So
vocals and choirs.
you focus.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm very focused, but also because um, I used to go in studio very prepared, so I already know the kind of sound I have to do with my voice, and I have in my mind even the choirs. For the choirs is very, I would say for people that are not singers, are they used to be impressed, but for me it's quite normal. But I mean, just because I have in mind all the different vocal layers, so for me it's like this. And
Yeah.
I used to be very annoyed with the guy recording me in the studio because I used to say, "Okay, one more double. Okay, more double, double, higher, lower."
Alright. So but you know what it takes to get the best out of yourself. Do you put do you put, do you have do you have special warm-ups? Do you you just drink water and that's it? Just water and tea?
So actually, that's another thing. But it's now I'm totally used to go in studio like I'm going on stage. But just because I'm doing tons of shows and I'm recording tons of stuff, not only for the album you said, but even I'm used to record some choirs for other projects
Mhm.
just to do it. So I'm totally used to that. I never warm up in my life
Oh,
because
wow.
since I'm singing every day, even
Yeah.
just no, 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 no. So I don't really need to warm up. Maybe just because I'm still young. Just in a couple of years, I will have to do it. Maybe.
Yeah, yeah, maybe. Alright. Um, hold on just one second. I wanted to just make sure of something here real quick. Here it is. Didn't you do Yes. Okay, and then we've got Virtual Symmetry. Didn't Virtual Symmetry play the Brainstorm Festival? Uh, yes, I remember seeing that. there were so many groups. I think Evergrey was one of the headliners for that one. Does that sound right?
Exactly. It was,
Yeah.
I think, last year. I think last November 24. 24,
Yeah.
yes, 1 year ago.
And I covered it because there was a group called Alterium that was there.
Ah, sì, with Nicoletta.
Yes, and she is a fantastic singer, and she's lovely. And so they had a new album that also came out from AFM. That was their debut. And then I saw that Virtual Symmetry was going to be on the Brainstorm Festival, so we plugged it. Any memories from that festival, or were you, or was it real fast? It was only a few days.
I have fantastic connection with this festival. I think there is a sort of um, friendly fight now between me and Herbie, the former singer of Firewind, because
Okay.
as far as I know, we are the musicians that play most of the times Brainstorm. I think I played there for 4 different editions,
Oh,
and,
okay.
and probably Herbie did the same. So we really have to destroy the other singer. Just kidding. No, but it's a fantastic festival. It's a indoor one in November, 1 hour far from Amsterdam. And now after years, I have such a fantastic relationship with the owner of the festival.
Yeah.
Actually, every time I'm going in Netherlands, I'm used to meet him and his family, and it's like it's a real part of my family now.
Yeah.
Even when we'll go at the end of the year with Temperance in Netherlands, I will meet them. And it's a very cool festival. I play with Temperance, I play with Serenity, I play with Fallen Century, I play with Virtual Symmetry. So
Wow.
very, very cool.
And you're in Serenity as well, or you write for them?
I used to be just the songwriter for them, but since 3 years ago, I joined the band as well because we were in the middle of songwriting, and they asked me, Marco, it's time.
Yeah. And so, so you have six groups off the top of our heads.
I think even more. I have to go,
it's
honestly.
so many. So you're a full-time singer, songwriter, guitarist, right?
Yes, but even, for example, it is not a secret, but for example, during summertime in Italy, I used to play tons of shows in Italy with some friends of mine with a sort of cover band, just to have fun.
That's
but
fine.
Also because, since with Temperance and also Serenity, we're not a huge festival band. We're not used, unfortunately, to play 20 festivals in a row in Europe. So I have a lot of free time because there's no tour in summer here.
Right.
So since a couple of years, I start to play, I would say 30, 40 shows during summer in Italy with some of my closest friends.
Good. Okay. Excellent. Are you friends with Alessandro Del Vecchio?
Well, actually, Alessandro lives, I think, 20 minutes far from me.
Oh, okay. I'm friends with him. We've even hung out. I got to find the. It's on other interviews. I always show a photo of the two of us hanging out. He's a great guy, and
Fantastic guy, fantastic musician as well. And singer.
absolutely. And he came. Oh, here it is. Hold on. I'll show you just to cue the audience in as to who the heck we're talking about. Hold on. There he is. That's a real photo, unlike your Neverland train photo. So he came to New York as the singer of a group called Project, where they do covers of progressive classic rock hits. And
Fantastic band, even with the former guitar and keyboard player of Steve Vai, I think.
yeah. And he's the guy. Is his name Rio? He did something I never saw. That keyboard player. He's got both hands out. He's doing the keyboards like this. And
Okay.
yeah, and then so Alessandro came out. So Alessandro's just singing in that group, but then later on in the show he comes out with a keytar, and the two of them are doing keytar solos, and he's great. I don't know that, and forgive me if I'm wrong because you have so much music. There's no way I could retain it all. Have you ever played with Alessandro in a project or a group?
We never played together in some groups, but very long time ago, I record some choirs in album produced by Alessandro. Then I think we record choirs together for an Italian band called Hell in the Club.
Hmm.
Uh, and then I think back then we tried to write something together for Frontiers Records because he
Hmm.
used to work with them.
Sure.
But actually, I think we never play in the same project.
Oh,
But I'm
okay.
not sure. But Alessandro is a friend of mine. He's a very cool guy.
Yeah. All right. Because I can see, yeah, you guys have a very similar aura. You're very jovial. You smile a lot. You have similar accents. So I think,
That's true. Actually, I think with Alessandro we are sharing tons of stuff. First of all, we live for real 20 minutes far from each other. That's
right.
crazy.
Yeah.
But then we are both vegan,
Oh,
and there's this kind of stuff. This PMA, positive mental attitude. We are the same because as all the people that know me, they know I'm a very positive guy.
yeah.
In Temperance, they make fun of me because they call me the dreamer.
Oh, really? Why do they call you the dreamer? Because you have big dreams for the band?
Also could be maybe sometimes even too big.
Excellent. So you've got all these things. We got Neverland Train. Neverland Train is next stop, and that's coming out March 27th. It's a really exciting album, and the thing that's so unique about it is, with the exception of the cover, you think that you've heard all these songs before, but they're brand new, and it's that in itself makes it very unique. You, of course, have a very distinctive voice that instantly drew
Thanks.
me to it. So I was just so stoked. And is there anything else that you want to say to the fans of Marco Pastorino, no matter what the band is? Anything you want to tell anybody out there?
So since you are from New York, I would say that mm, we had a few chances in the last year to play in US, especially last year we played Prog Power in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And I mean, for sure, we played the 70K, even if it's departed from Miami, it's not real US thing, but yes. And I really, really hope to have the chance this year or next year to come back there on tour with Temperance. We have several options the last year, but all the time was very difficult. And now it's very difficult for a small band like us for the visa situation. The costs are getting crazy, but not only in US, even in Europe,
Yeah.
the tour costs are fucking crazy. So very, very crazy. But I really hope that we will have the chance to come there, especially because Christy, she's from New York, so
Yeah. So you
we have
could,
to celebrate that. So
yeah. Plus, you could go stay at her parents' house or something, and then you don't have to pay for the hotel that night, right? You save a little money.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
It's excellent. So, we're gonna catch up again when Temperance releases
Sure.
their next album, and so
Also,
it's also worth mentioning that with Temperance, you will be playing at the Camfest, which is Camelot's festival, and that is going to start October 31st in the Netherlands. That your date is October 31st. That's date number 2. And then you're gonna go on tour with Camelot, right?
exactly, and we are so excited because Camelot is one of our biggest influence since forever. I would say since no, but then I think will be the very first time that we will have the chance to share the stage and especially a tour with them.
Yeah.
And will be for 3 weeks all around Europe with a new album,
Mhm.
Camelot new album as well. And as you said before, UK will play London and Manchester. So very very
Yes.
cool. Wait.
And those dates for London at the Shepherd's Bush Empire, which is a famous place, November 1st, and then you'll be in Manchester at the Ritz Manchester on November the 3rd, and then you'll start making your way further into Europe, and those dates will take you through November 22nd in Madrid. So that's gonna be a great fall for you. You're gonna have a great time there.
Will be a very cool tour also because uh now we have a fantastic. I mean, the Temperance lineup is been great since forever.
Yeah.
I really love the fact we have Christine with us, but even our crew, I'm sure we will have 3 weeks uh, a great time all together. And I have to say, even if I don't know mostly of Camelot guys, I know Alex Landenberg, the drummer. We did an
Mhm.
album together 10 years ago, and is a fantastic guy. So for sure, I did album even with him.
Yeah. And okay, excellent. So you've got great things on the horizon, and we're gonna catch up again when the Temperance album comes out. We'll do
Sure.
another one. You, me, and Kristen. We'll have a lot of fun,
Hopes
and
for sure.
and that it's an exciting time to be a Marco Pastorino fan. It sounds like there's a lot of music coming out, and Neverland Train
Always.
is excellent. It is completely unique from the rest, and I hope one day you have a chance to. I know it'll be really really difficult, but I hope one day we have a chance to see it up on stage the same way that we've seen
Hopefully.
rock operas being produced. Even if you did it for one night only, I think it'd be great. So,
I
so
agree.
congratulations on another outstanding piece of music, and
Thank you so much.
yes, and I look forward to seeing you again. Special thanks again to Marco Pastorino for joining us. The new album from Neverland Train is their debut album, and it is called Alive in Hell. It is available worldwide right now from our friends at El Puerto Records. Right now, and during the intro, you heard a clip of Somewhere in This Universe, and we also played a clip of Still Alive, also off of Alive in Hell. Fantastic music. We also played a clip of Midnight Riders. That's from Christiano Filippini's Flames of Heaven. And that's off the album Symphony of the Universe. That album can be found from Lim Music and courtesy of Ger Musica. And look for Temperance on tour supporting Camelot in Europe, starting October 31st on the second night of Campfest in the Netherlands. Then they'll be in the Shepherd's Bush Empire in London on November 1st, and those tour dates will take them all the way through November 22nd, ending in Madrid, Spain. Lots happening in Marco Pastorino's world, and we wish him all the best. Be sure to make legitimate purchases of the music, merch, and tickets to support hardworking artists like Marco Pastorino. Folks, head on over to the revamped JaceMediaMusic.com page. We've got reviews, we've got interviews, we've got all kinds of great music coverage. Check out some of my recent video interviews with my all-time favorite metal singer John Bush of Armored Saint and Category 7, Warlord and Alcatraz singer Giles Lavery, guitar heroes like Herman Frank of Victory, and Soren Anderson, guitar player for Glenn Hughes. I've got a brand new interview with Meridian, a fantastic metal band out of Denmark, as well as Fate's Warning singer Ray Alder, Giles' good friend David Reese, best known as the singer of Bangalore Choir, and members of Temperance, Avatarium, Captain Blackbeard, and more. Special thanks, as always, to our fantastic founder and publisher, Glenn, and all of my Jace Media colleagues. And of course, special thanks to you, the worldwide Jace Media music audience. Look for Jace Media on Facebook and X and Instagram and basically every social media channel you can think of. I am Justin Smolison, proud Jace Media contributor from across the pond. Thank you again for tuning in. Keep coming back to JaceMediaMusic.com. I've got more video interviews away.